Hello again, video number 2. We're going to be talking about, you guessed it, the Warpet. The Warpet has 6 items of which you can put onto it, and each one of those items can be evolved and upgraded, and you can recycle them and you can display them, and then you have skills and passives and everything else. So this is going to be a long one, but let's start with this. So if you can tell, Barry has 2 purples, 1 orange, and 3 reds. The top 2 reds are what I call the weapons. The weapons, the reason why she has them as red is because if you look here at the top, she has evolved them 31 times and is working on getting to 32. That is the only reason why we keep them. Any pay-to-win player knows that there's been events in the past where it basically just gave you everything you needed. If you spent 10k diamonds, you get 2 a day, and for both the key and the book, and you can just keep powering that up really high. The reds give you a nice amount of stats. Attack, crit, res, it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stats, versus the orange gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 5, and purples give you 1, 2, 3, 4. So, purples give 4, orange give 5, and reds give 6. All the stats differ based on which item slot it is, and each one has something special going on about it. But pay-to-win players were able to get those, so you keep them. Those were the 2 easiest things to level, so you keep the top 2 red if you're pay-to-win. If you're not pay-to-win, you're going to be looking at oranges, and wait until your orange top 2 pieces, so the key and the book, are able to be evolved past the red. I would highly recommend waiting until you get to an advancement that's listed. So say your red is advancement 24 and you're powering up your orange and you're able to get it to advancement 28. At that point, I would switch all your resources from your red to your orange, but never ever get rid of your reds. Do not get rid of them. If you can see at the bottom here, Barry has a golden key. So a while back there was an event with a box that seemed to be glitched. It was in Chinese. Nobody knew what it said, but when you opened it, it gave you golden gear. And the way you can power this golden gear, and I'm wondering when they're going to implement it, is you can buy these items. I'm assuming you're going to be able to buy them. And then you can evolve them. And when you hit compose, see, it says store. So Divine Breath, that's what we're missing. Divine Breath's not on the marketplace. You can't do anything with it, but you can take 1 Divine Breath and 2 of your keys, combine them together to make 1 gold key. And as you can see right here, you only need 1 gold key to evolve up, and then you keep going onwards and onwards and onwards. As far as if that's ever going to be a power boost, I don't know. If you look at it, they also only have 6, so I've done the comparison. They have higher base stats than the red, so the red stats are slightly lower than the gold stats, so potentially they could give off more power if you're able to evolve them high enough. That's not really confirmed due to the item not being out on the cash market yet. So we're going to put back on the red and go from there. So I already stated that we have less stats, so why would we want an orange instead of a red if there's not as many stats as the red? It makes no sense, right? Not really. But if you notice, this guy's at plus 32 and this guy is at plus 20. It is much easier to boost up an orange versus a red, especially for this second tier, because you get them from Endless Tower. Now, if you're not able to go that high in Endless Tower, maybe you need to evaluate how many oranges you're getting from completing it every day. If you're not getting the right ones, then look into getting all purples. Whatever's going to be best for your situation. I would highly recommend buying an attack potion, getting as high as you possibly can in towers. Skip all the 10th floors, so at boss 20, and then 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on. Those are generally going to be a player. Players tend to be even harder because not only does the boss get the player stats, but also that player gets a boost based off the fact that he's a floor boss, and they can be really, really annoying to kill. So if you have the option, spend a little extra diamonds to skip that floor just to progress higher. I would invest 1,000 diamonds into one good endless tower clear, and that way when you go to it to the next day, you hit express pass, you're going to boost up all the way up, except for you'll be 10 floors lower than where you started at. So what you can do, and this is what Barry was doing for a while, is floor 190, right? So a lot of people, myself included, was trying to get to floor 200. And I stopped at floor 199. I couldn't kill 200. But because I failed at 200, every time I did the express pass, it put me at floor 189. And if I hit continue, it put me at floor 190, which made me have to fight a player, which for a couple weeks I was stuck because I could not kill the player. So I would recommend, if you're going to stop and you have the choice and you're not 100% confident you can get another 10 floors up, stop at 8. So 18, 28, 38, 48, don't hit 9. Do not do the 9th floor. That way, when you do your express pass the next day, you're going to start at, say you get to 48, right? So you're going to start at floor 38. It's going to put you on floor 39. You hit the dice, you go past floor 40, and you're able to get back to the point you started at. And then if you've powered up that day, you may be able to get even further than that. But just never stop on a 9. If you stop on a 9, the next day is going to be rough. That's probably a huge tip. Hopefully you understand it. The great part about purples is they're super, super easy to level up. To get a purple to 500 is equivalent to getting a red to 170, no, 190, excuse me. So if you have your reds already at 190, that means you can instantly convert them to a maxed purple at 500. The only thing you need to consider is what phase it's at. So if your red is at phase 20 and you're able to get your purple to phase 24, which is your advancement right here, switch over, max level it, you're going to get a power boost, guaranteed. Evolves all scale the same, so the higher the evolve, the cost goes up. Doesn't matter whether it's red, orange, or purple, it's going to go up by 1 at certain tier locations. That's why this one says 11. This one's going to say 10, because if you look at it, she's at 31 here, versus here, she's at 37. So every advancement, it generally, the cost goes up by 1. And now, another confusing thing that you could be seeing here is the fact that Barry's using the red cup. Why would she be using the red cup, not the orange cup, right? Why would you do that? Well, the red cup right here and the purple sand glass right here, when they are red, they have an additional stat. This additional stat happens to be crit damage. So crit damage is hard to get in the game overall, and by putting on the cup, you're able to boost your crit damage, which in return is going to boost your character's crit damage by a small percentile of the crit damage being boosted to your Warpet. And the same is the same deal for the sandglass, except for in this case the power loss is substantial. I believe it's like 40 to 50k of a difference. So unless you happen to be really, really freaking lucky and have one of these guys boosted up past 24 or something like that, it's not worth doing it for replacing the purple into the red. Mostly because, remember, the purple only costs 190 levels. Versus the orange is going to be more expensive, so it's going to be harder to get to 500. But if you have a 500 orange and you're thinking about, well, I really need the crit damage, the red cup would be beneficial. You'll be able to take those 500 levels from the orange, and you'll be over 200 in the red. So that's going to balance out a lot better for you. It won't be as substantial as a power loss. No matter what, it will be a power loss, but you'll have more crit damage, so your actual power output, damage output of your character is going to increase, even though your power is going to drop a little bit. But if you're looking for just to get your number as high as you possibly freaking can, I would do 2 reds, 2 orange, and 2 purples. And if you can't get your reds to plus 31 or higher because the events are long gone and you're now just figuring this out and you never really powered anything up for those guys, do 2 orange, do 4 orange, that's the top 2 and the middle 2, and then 2 bottom purples. Level up the purples first to 500, then focus on the second tier to 500, and if you're using the reds, keep them around 200 until everything else is maxed out, and then start working them up past 200. So you're going to want these guys at the top to be around 200 if you can manage it, at least 190, right? And then you're going to want to get these guys to 500, the orange guys to 500, after you get your purples to 500. So enough of that. There's really not much more to cover there. Endless Tower is key to everything. Save everything you get from Endless Tower. Get rid of the blues. The blues are worthless. You can either sell them or just use them to power stuff up. I would recommend definitely dumping them into your purples, because the purples will benefit a lot from that. The oranges too, but the output isn't that substantial. Let's talk about active skills. There's a lot of different Warpets out there. Currently, for survivability and maximum ultimate damage output, and this is sort of how the Buy Spirit really links with your Warpet, the Mermaid is the best thing you can get. You want it to be level 90. If it's not level 90 and you have a red legendary Warpet, which she doesn't have an example of, it's better to have the legendary Warpet than a level 50 Warpet Mermaid, or even a level 12. If you have a level 12, any Warpet is better than that, because you're not level 12 anymore. Nobody should be level 12 anymore if you're looking at this. Passives. Her passives are amazing. Most of these are pay to win, actually, just about all of them. Orange are pay to win. Generally, you can't get them for free. There's a few ways, or you save up your diamonds you get, especially if you're part of Beast. You get diamonds every day. You really want to save those diamonds and use them wisely. But this is a heal build. The 2 most important skills that you can have on your Warpet, the most important skills, are none of these orange ones. It's this: Blessing and Rescue. These are the only 2 abilities that will constantly heal you, constantly give you health back. It's the only thing that's really going to give you that survivability. It's worth having. It's just too overpowered. Now, Barry's very lucky because she basically has every good Warpet passive ability you can have. She has the Super Haste, which increases her movement speed. She has Flash, which makes it so that when she takes damage, she gets her dodge skill back, which is great.
Double dodge.
Yep, double dodge. And then we have Master. This is just a damage increase. Oh, removes cooldown on offensive abilities, excuse me. So, yeah.
Damage increase.
It's just a damage increase. This, you're about to die, up, now you're at 30%. This scales amazingly with helmet passive. So if you have gold gear, and I will cover gold gear at a later time and go into more detail, if you have the helmet that gives you more healing, this is an amazing thing to have. You want this. Hawkeye, invulnerability. It's literally procced 4 times in a row when I fight Barry, when she's supposed to die. It's very frustrating. And Iron Will, also invincibility. Having both, yes, they do proc on their own cooldown. Yes, they can constantly go back and forth. There's the cooldown of 15 seconds, and this one has no cooldown. So yeah, you get this thing, then oh look, this procs, it's ridiculous. It's a lifesaver. These two, I know I'm skipping that one on purpose. Then we got Rupture, it's a damage ability. We have Assault, just flat out damage increase. Purge. Purge used to be the most broken thing in this entire game. It would constantly remove debuffs, stuns, snares, whatever, and would heal you for 1% of your max XP in the next 10 seconds. Yeah, no, it used to heal you for way more than that. I just realized they nerfed the heal on it, and it used to be 10% of your HP over, 10% of your HP. And the cooldown is always said once per 20 seconds, but the cooldown actually, even though it said it, it wasn't part of the game. So every single time you stun somebody, it would just instantly heal people. They have fixed that, thank God, and made it so that people aren't just gods if you don't have healing ability or don't have Purge, which is great for me because my Purge sucks. And then we come to this ability. Master gains 50% of Spiritus energy in combat. That means your ultimate starts at 50% every time you go into anything, which is great. It means that you're going to be able to pop your Warpet's ability right here. And this Warpet is amazing because it reduces the damage you take, it gives you a heal, and it constantly gives you your ultimate energy, which means if you're already starting at 50% and you pop this, it will give you your 100% energy. You might have to hit once or twice. If you're a warrior, you definitely have to hit 2 to 3 times, make contact, and then you'll have your ultimate. It does not, for Barry's character, I've seen it where all they have to do is pop the wave and they get their ultimate. Maybe my tune's just broken. But as far as the other abilities, they don't mean shit. Mostly because you will never have your Warpet out. You don't want it out. It dies very easily. So this is the only thing. It gives you ultimate. It gives you a damage reduction. It gives you a heal. It's broken as all hell. It's the most powerful ability in the game. And it combos with healing gear. Just remember that. Other than that, these abilities are amazing. You just want to gear your tune to make sure you have these heals right here. Bless and Rescue. If you can get some kind of version of Purge, it will save you every once in a while. And if you don't already have this, you want to wait for the next event, and this is what you really want to get. I would say those 4 abilities are the most important abilities you can get right now in this game. It really defines a character overall. The other ones are optional. Everything that she has is top tier, exactly what you want, but it's not nearly as important as these 4 abilities. Alright, back to these abilities. Of course, you're going to level them up. You get to level them up, I believe, 2 more times by the time you hit to level 120, which is going to give you an overall power boost every single time you level up these abilities. You want to make sure that all the abilities are leveled. If you notice that when you tab into the screen, you don't actually see the bottom, make sure your bottom is leveled up, because I swear to God, I've done it, and I've not powered up for 4 or 5 levels before and didn't even realize it. So make sure they're all powered up. It's a good power increase. And then you're going to want to make sure that, you see how it says retract right next to evolve? It has active, passive, retract. Put it on retract. Don't have it on passive. Passive means it's out, just waiting to die. And active means it's going to attack and it'll run into a mob and then it's definitely going to die. So make sure you just have it retract and pop your ability on cooldown. Try to make sure that nobody's near where it's going to spawn. It spawns on next to your character, not on top, but next to it. So generally what I do is I dodge away, pop it, charge back into my opponent, make sure that they don't go after my Warpet. That's what you want to do. And that's pretty simple. The only other thing I didn't cover is eating. And all you want to do is you want to feed it Warpets, which, I mean, if you don't understand that, just delete your Warpet, okay?
Don't delete your Warpet.
Alright, don't delete your Warpet. But yeah, you guys get it. So level 90 Warpet from the cash shop is equivalent to about if I remember from a long time ago. I think it was equal to 140, which means that we're probably not going to get a new Warpet that goes past level 90. That's going to be red. If we do, I'll be surprised. And yeah, that covers it. So if you guys have any questions, post comments. Oh, nope, I forgot one thing. Evolves. So every time you evolve, let's go all the way. Oh my god, you got way too many evolves. Notice how it says 68 out of 150. Carly is past 70. That's why her Warpet's so crazy strong. So notice how you say, at Evolve 1, you get 6% HP. Then there's P-Def, Attack, M-Def. Notice how it says at the bottom of these stats, increase by a percentage. So in the beginning, it's increasing by 2%. And it keeps going. So it's 2% of the HP, or 2% of the magic defense, 2% of the P-Def. The best power increase is going to be from Attack. Second best is HP. Then P-Def and M-Def is equivalent. They're the same. Generally, they're crap. So they're not going to give you as much power, so I would never spend diamonds to try and get that P-Def boost. But if you're borderline there and you have a few extra diamonds, say you're at, no sir says 1,197, say you're at 1,995 and you just need 2 more, well then go ahead and pay those 2 diamonds, those 60 diamonds to get it up. Or do your maps. You should be doing your maps if you haven't. Or you're like Barry, who likes to save them up until she's like 120 of them, and then all of a sudden she evolves her Warpet 3 times. But the reason why I'm going into this is because now it's saying at level Evolve 32, it's now 1% instead of 2%. And we're going to keep going and keep going. And every time it's an HP or attack, you're getting a pretty decent amount. But once you get, where is it? 58, 59, 60, 60, at 60, that's when it starts. So 60 is a great power boost. I remember it was about 80k. So it's attack. 80k for boosting up your attack by 1%. That means your character is increasing your attack by 1%. Alright, that's awesome. You're getting 80k power. Your tune's getting a power boost. The other percentage on top is just purely for your Warpet. The percentage at the bottom is the power up for your character. But if you notice, 61 doesn't have anything underneath it. And 62 does. So once you get this high, it starts alternating. And then we're looking at P-Def. P-Def is about 40k at this tier. It's way less in the beginning. And then attack. The first one doesn't have the 1%, but the second one does. So the first one was roughly 70k, but 64 was almost 120k. It was a crazy high power up because it gave you that 1% attack, and you're evolving so high, and your Warpet stats are going up so much, it starts to really start dumping into your power. So the higher you boost, the better. Remember, HP and attack are the stats you're really hoping to get. P-Def, M-Def, they're good, but you're not going to see a substantial power boost out of it. I just hit 69 and I got less than 30k. I think it was like 28k, which is terrible for this tier. But as soon as I get to HP, I'm going to be getting 80 to 100k power boost. It's going to be great. I can't wait to get that far. That covers everything. There's power level for the Warpets. It's based off your evolves and what you got equipped and the level at which you have everything equipped. If you don't know how to power these things up, you have so much. What are you doing, Barry? All right, you guys get it. And there. Oh, I keep finding more stuff. Little did anybody else know, because it took me a long time. Every single one of these little Warpets has a little power on it. It says increases power by 698, increases power by 137, or 1161. Well, those aren't the true power increases. Generally, it's about double or more, depends on the Warpet. But if you guys go out and collect all the Warpets that you guys have seen or know exist, if you click, if you click on it, then hit to obtain, it will tell you where to go. You can go do it. I would recommend doing this after you're fully maxed out in level. Try and collect them all, get free power boost. Some of them are pay to win, but a lot of them are free, and just keep going. For instance, I just got this guy right here, Breeze Master at the bottom. CLs, it says 451. Well, the actual power boost I got was 1500. So yeah, their numbers are completely wrong, but there's a good amount of power boost. Collect them all, get more power. It's free power. And that's everything. I'm done. Bye, guys.